Yes, indeed. We are back after a little bit of a summer break here on RipNRiff, here on the RipNRiff YouTube channel. That over there is at Mr. Jared Moore. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. Fresh recharge batteries. NFL season kicks off this week. It's a good time of the year for sport. This is it right here. September is where it's at, Labor Day.
Feels like the first day back at school. And it's one of those things where like you do and you don't like going back to school because like obviously like going to school sucks, but like the one cool part about it is that you get to see all your friends from the summer and like catch up and all that sort of stuff. You know, people you haven't seen in a couple months. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, you get to get, I mean, like, yeah, back to school shopping isn't always great, but you get a new backpack every year and things like that. So those things are nice. I get to relive those a little bit with my own daughter. So, yeah. It's been I'm not gonna say we're not gonna say anyways. What'd you do with the summer break? What'd you do? Nobody cares. Or
That's good because I feel like I already know what we've mostly done. It's not like we haven't talked in 3 months or however long it's been.
I went to New York for a week. That was the highlight of the time we were away, and then yeah, we're ready to rock here. NFL season, hockey season around the corner. We're back to ripping packs here. And speaking of ripping packs, I don't see why we should waste any other time. Let's pack ripping lineup here. It's going to be all football. Week 1 of the NFL season. College football's first. You will say week 0, week 1 is also in the books as well. And you got some 2024 Panini Prizm.
Yep, and you can see the rookies there. Obviously, a really good rookie class there with Caleb and Jaleb Daniels and Bo Nix, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors. A lot of really cool rookies here. So hopefully get 1 or 2 of them in these packs. Now, knowing our luck, we probably won't, but yeah, you won't know until you open the pack. So
now for me, it's important to note that it just worked out this way. It's all hanger packs today. So it's a hanger pack edition of RipNRiff to kick off season, I guess, 4. And then I've got some 2022 Absolute Football. I bought that pack like well over a year ago. Just hasn't come up in the rotation, and saving it for because I got a good feeling about it. So figure first episode of the season. This is probably a good way to go here. We'll do that. And then like to go a little throwback there, a little 95 Top Series 1. You can see Steve Young on the cover there. In terms of rookies from the 2022 class, you see him there. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Aiden Hutchinson. Going to be fun to watch him back with the Lions this year. And then the rookies in the 95 class, we got Tony Baselli, Warren Sapp, the late, great Steve McNair, Cordell / Stewart. And, speaking of Warren Sapp here, and I'm going to pull up the rip cam here. I ripped a random pack of 2024 Donruss that I got at Kohl's that I tweeted about the other day. Even late in his career, Warren Sapp just imagine that chasing you down there. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very pleasant. At some point on the show, we're gonna have to do this is the most obscure place you bought a pack of cards, because Kohl's would certainly be up there on the list. It's not one I would be expecting. I've talked to you about how the 7-Eleven by me sells some packs of cards, and they have like the 2024 Topps Chrome NFL cards. I almost bought a pack yesterday just because I knew we were doing this today, but I show a little bit of restraint. I don't really want to pay 7-Eleven prices for a pack of cards.
Well, that's the thing. At Kohl's, the packs were like $5 each for jumbo 30 packs. $7 was for the NBA pack I got, and I wasn't looking for them there. I went to go. Annabelle needed something to wear for picture day that's coming up, and then on the way, they make you walk through the maze with all the impulse buys. One in Kohl's is like half a mile long to get through, and out of the corner of my eye, I just see hanger packs. I'm like, what are those doing here? And I'm like, done. Grab a few. So, I haven't seen them in the 7-Elevens near me. I know Dick's Sporting Goods sells them. Just GameStop is starting to sell cards now, so they're popping up. I still go to my local hobby shop when I can, but or Toy Wiz. But we're gonna get right into it here. We're gonna get into let's do Jared's pack here first, the 2024 Panini Prizm Football. And we're gonna talk about as players, teams come up that we got thoughts about either for week 1 or the season in general. We will dive into those throughout here on today's RipNRiff.
That we will. So since it was a hanger box, it was a clear pack here. So let's get that out of the way there. Put that aside, and we start with from your Washington Commanders, Emmanuel Forbes here. So the Commanders very much that I would say trendy pick to take the next step. I don't know that I completely buy it, but certainly be interesting to see how they do in year 2 under Jaden Daniels.
I think a little step back this year because they got a lot of things, a lot of bounces went their way last year, a lot of one-score games, things like that. So I'm not saying they're going to revert to 6-11, but 10-7 in the wild card hunt, maybe having to worry about a spot. I think that's where they are this year.
Mm-hmm. A team looking to, I would say, bounce back to amongst the elite in the NFC. Brock Purdy with the San Francisco 49ers.
You and I, we had said off air that with the with the break, there would have been a lot of Yankee bashing and enough is enough. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch in the Bay Area, it's not at that level yet, but the fans are getting a little restless here. The window's closing, what's happening here? So they're starting to, there's let's say the dynamite is lit for them. It's going.
Well, that's what happens when you trade 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, and you no longer have the requisite depth in your roster. And you're starting a guy who really isn't any better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Demario Davis from the probably what'll be the worst team in the NFL this season in the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, because I know the Browns and the Giants aren't going to be great, but they have good defenses. They have defenses that might steal a few games. The Saints have nothing. They've got absolutely nothing. An aging Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, like Chris Olave, but I'm not buying the Spencer Rattler era. Let's just say that.
Spencer Rattler just needs to be good enough to be the third string backup on my one of my dynasty teams. That's all I need Spencer Rattler to be.
Well, he'll play, or at least he'll play a couple weeks until they play the other guy. But yeah, that's a mess there. I'm glad I have nothing to do with it.
Mike Riker.
Legends card here of Richard Sherman here with the Seattle Seahawks. Kind of feels weird to call Richard Sherman a legend, seeing as he played throughout the 2010s, but I mean he's retired now, so what else are you supposed to call him?
Yeah, we've officially gotten to that age where guys that we were cutting up highlights for draft packages are now legends of the game. It's whoa, 20 years goes by real quick, huh?
Yeah. Well, speaking of legends of the game, how about the Dirty Bird Jamal Anderson here with the Atlanta Falcons?
No, I'd like to do the Dirty Bird. I don't remember. I know it involved one of these, but I don't remember the whole routine.
And also, you and I would both need a restraining order to prevent us from trying to do that. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs with the Lions. Lions should be one of the better teams in the NFC this year. A team that clearly doesn't know what they're doing, just generally speaking. CeeDee Lamb with the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, they made the Micah Parsons trade this past week, and didn't need to come to that. They could have taken care of this a year ago or so and just paid Micah Parsons, but Jerry's going to do Jerry things.
Well, I want to pause there because there's two things I want to talk about. A, that trade, and then B, the power shift in the NFC North. First of all, yeah, you could have gotten more. I know it's all. I'm not going to rehash everything that's already been said, but yeah, it was just not a great deal for one of the premier defensive players of the last 25 years, and it's just what I've said is Jerry Jones make Jets look like they're competent in running an organization. That is what Jerry Jones is to the Cowboys.
Now, I mean, I don't know that I would go that far. I actually think the trade itself, in terms of the return for Micah Parsons, I don't think it's that bad. You're getting 2 first-round picks. I know they're going to be later first-round picks,
but 25 or later, probably.
But it's still 2 first-round picks. There's still value in that, and Kenny Clark's a good player. And now he's a little older. He's been in the league for 10 years, so I don't know how many more years you think you're going to get out of Kenny Clark. But in terms of the return, I think the return of the trade is fine. It's just the whole process with Micah Parsons just has made no sense.
Well, part of the thing that hurts the return is the fact that everybody, even people who don't care about football, probably knew that Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones were not, if Jerry Jones would just keep his mouth shut and keep things in the wraps, he might have been able to get more because people wouldn't have had a pulse on the situation where this guy wants out really badly. People who wanted out. But then, after, there's a point of no return at some point, and as any GM is going to try and take advantage of that.
Yeah, well, that would involve Jerry keeping his mouth shut and not doing media every 10 seconds, and we know he's incapable of doing that. Ed Oliver with the Buffalo. I almost called them the Buffalo Sabres, the Buffalo Bills here.
I think
it's still preseason for us, so just you'll have to bear with it. A legendary coach here, Tom Flores with the Oakland Raiders or the LA Raiders.
Also a great radio analyst for the Raiders for a long time too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Stephon Diggs here with the Houston Texans. Now he's obviously with the Patriots, coming off the torn ACL. We'll see how much he has left in the tank this year.
I think he's a total malcontent.
Kobe Turner with the LA Rams. Let's see. Reggie Wayne here with the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know why I had a brain fart in the team for a second there. So everybody knows Reggie Wayne was Colts legend there. Raheem Mostert with the Miami Dolphins. I believe the newly retired Raheem Mostert as well.
Is he with the Raiders?
Is he with the Raiders now? I thought he retired.
I thought last time I looked at their depth chart, at least he was number 2. Now you got me worried because I got a couple of shares of him in like really deep leagues.
I could very well be wrong.
I'm waiting for the depth chart to load on arrowlads.com. My internet is not being.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, let me get into the parallels here, and
Yeah.
we got some nice ones off the bat. Joe Burrow with the Bengals.
Oh, that's a nice one. And he is the backup. He had to beat out Zamir White and Dylan Laube, so not much competition there. Be the number 2 back, but he is at least listed as the number 2.
Copy. And yeah, I mean, Zamir White and it's still in Laube. So what are you gonna do? Quentin Johnson here with the LA Chargers. Obviously, they're opening the season Friday night in Brazil. Another one of Rogers' brilliant ideas of playing these games overseas. Willie Gay Jr. with the New Orleans Saints.
You know, I don't have a problem with playing random games overseas, but maybe you play them in places where the players feel like I'm not leaving my hotel room except to go to the stadium and practice. Maybe we don't put them in places like that. That's all.
Well, I mean, when they go on these trips, they're quote unquote business trips to be in. Like they're not leaving the hotel room to go sightseeing for the most part.
No, I understand, but they do get some downtime. It would be nice if the players felt like they could go and sightsee and not like I'm not going out in public and getting robbed. Like that's my whole point there.
Oh man. All right. Cooper DeJean with the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously part of their young secondary there, rookie card there. Malik Neighbors rookie card here with the Giants, a prismatic card.
All right, that's a good time. That's a good time to talk a little Giants here. What are you're a big Giants fan. What are your expectations for this season? We've talked about it's year 2 for Malik Neighbors. We know they have a really strong defense. It's only a matter of time before Jackson Dart gets his shot. So what's your outlook here?
I have a lot of thoughts on the Giants. I'm cautiously optimistic in general, and then I saw well, at least I was going into the preseason, and then I watched the preseason. I try not to overreact to preseason football. The Giants will go over their win total. I'm fairly confident in that, and I'm fairly confident the Giants are better than the Dallas Cowboys. They're not gonna finish in last place in that division. And like I know everybody says with the Giants, well, look at the schedule, and yeah, it's a brutal schedule. But you just go through it, and like there's certainly there's winnable games there. You know, they usually play the Commanders tough anyways. They got the Commanders twice. They got the Cowboys twice. They have the Saints. I know everybody's picking New England as a trendy team to be all that much better, but like, you tell me why I think New England should be significantly better than the Giants. Like I don't necessarily see or agree with that. Like they have the Raiders on the schedule. Somebody in the NFC North is going to stink. I don't know who it's going to be, but they play that entire division. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be the Bears or the Vikings.
I'd say more the Bears than the Vikings over those two because the Vikings defense is just really, really good. But yeah, I see what you're saying. One of those teams has to be the basement team.
Right. And like, so obviously you're going through the schedule there. Even like I'm not saying they're going to beat the Chiefs, but what is the Giants' identity as a team? They have a really good front, defensive line. They can get after the quarterback. Why did the Chiefs lose in the Super Bowl? Because they couldn't freaking block the Eagles' front seven. So I'm not saying the Giants will beat the Chiefs. I'm just saying that there's a path there to the Giants, making things tough on like Patrick Mahomes in a game that's going to, by the way, it's going to be Sunday Night Football. It's going to be the Giants home opener. So there's that. They have the Chargers the next week. And like you and I have been doing this long enough. If there's a team aside from the Jets that consistently finds and invents new ways to lose football games, it's the Chargers.
Yeah, they're in that group for sure.
They
They get
call
some
it
standing
chargering
ovations.
for a reason. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like the Chargers are going to be this unbeatable juggernaut. So, I'm not saying the Giants are going to be a playoff team. I think they go over the win total. I'm going to guess they're probably like a 7-10, 8-9 team. I don't know when they're going to turn to Jackson Dart. I think that's going to be a whole other level of excitement. They have that in their back pocket. If I had to guess when they're going to do it, it'll probably be, just looking at their schedule real quick, maybe after the Philadelphia games, which is week 6 and week 8. So maybe they do it, going to San Fran, and then that NFC North swing would be my guess. But
If they get 3 NFC North games in a row, that's not fun.
no, it's not. And they have a very late bye. They probably have the latest bye,
Week 14, yeah.
But I think there's a path there for at least the Giants to have a respectable season.
I agree because of the defense. And the other thing, too, is the vibes. Like, the vibes coming out of the preseason is that, like, the team actually likes being there and they're having fun. And, like, Russell Wilson's not stupid. He knows he's very unlikely to finish the season as the starting quarterback. And at some point, it's going to be Jackson Dart, whether it's due to injury or, maybe Wilson's just not getting the offense going. But, yeah, I agree. I don't think that there'll be a bottom team in the league this year. I think there's enough winnable games on the schedule. And they could steal a couple. I think they'll split with the Commanders. They could absolutely sweep the Cowboys. I mean, Dallas is not high on my, where I think their defense will carry them to a better record than maybe, the cursory look would suggest.
When you have a pass rush that can get after the quarterback, it gives you a path to win games that people weren't necessarily expecting to win. So, I would target the teams there that probably don't have great offensive lines. So, like Philly would be a bad team to target. They have one of the better offensive lines in the league. Denver, probably the same thing, and Denver will be a challenge in and of itself because you're going to Denver, you're playing that altitude. But I think there's other teams there where there's a path to having that level of success.
You heard it here first, folks. The Giants are going to cover against the Chiefs week 3 Sunday Night Football. That man right there, he said it.
I mean, that spread's probably going to be like, I would be surprised that the spread was double digits.
Even though, yeah, agreed. Just because it's the Chiefs and Sunday Night Football and all that. But yeah,
and if it is, I'm taking the points.
And that's because of the Giants' ability to get to the quarterback is a good reason. Again, maybe that they don't win the game, but Patrick Mahomes is sweating in the fourth quarter.
Yep. All right, couple last cards here. We have a fireworks card with Devon Achane with the Miami Dolphins. It took me a second to figure out which player that was because not really easy to identify. We have a rookie card here. Unfortunately, it's Brendan Rice, the son of Hall of Famer Jerry Rice there. And your obligatory kid reporter card for Panini. And that is our Panini hanger pack for 2024.
All right, we got a little Giants talk in there, talked a little Cowboys and NFC North. Plenty more to come here on this. We got a couple more packs to rip on this edition of RipNRiff. But over the summer, I was going through some cards and sent a little care package to Mr. Jared Moore over there. Things that I had found at card shows. I'm like, he might like this, or things going through my own collection. And he also returned the favor. So we're going to open those packages right now. I was having a tough time naming the segment because of like the double entendres and stuff. So finally just settled on Jared and Adam got stuff in the mail.
Mail day.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do here. And so I guess, Jared, you want to rip and open first?
Yeah, I'll whip it out first.
Yeah, you whip it out first. I already cut the box. I didn't look. I cut the box.
Yep. I did warn you about how tightly I packed that box. And
you didn't leave any room.
I really didn't. Well, I was too lazy to use a bigger box.
I mean, it was practically bursting when I opened it.
All right, enough. All right, so let's see. We got almost had the box open. First, we have what looks like a T-shirt. It is a T-shirt. I'm sure it's not going to fit me, but I don't want to drop that. But we have ourselves a a RipNRiff T-shirt, which is very nice. Maybe we'll hang it on the wall since it's not going to fit me. I appreciate the thought and the sentiment, but we could certainly put it in the background and put it to good use.
Well, the thing is, my wife made one for me and made one for you, but because of like she uses a Cricut, so it's not like the best like screen printing stuff. So yeah, after a couple of washes, that fades. So it's probably a better wall hanging candidate anyway. I've worn mine a couple of times. I think I can put it through the wash one more time, and then the logo may not look great. So yeah, figured a little memento from the show.
All right,
Now we get to the cards.
Now we can tell which one of us is the better friend by how much care we took into putting the package together and shipping it properly. Because you put the cards here, a nice little thing. The T-shirt was wrapped around it in a nice large box, and you
you like those big boxes.
Well, you took every precaution to make sure it gets here. In terms of like, it gets here in a presentable manner. And meanwhile, I was just like, whatever, just get it in the fucking box. I don't give a shit. So let's see what we got here. All right. I like this. A Monty Toomer rookie card here. The triangle slice card. I guess the pizza slice card, for lack of a better term.
Pennants. I know you got a few of those recently. I saw that. I was like, ooh, give me that.
Yeah, well, those Devil's Pennants cards that I pulled last year. And we got a bunch of Devils cards here. Scotty Stevens metal card, Marty Brodeur.
Those I found at a local hobby shop, flipping through the dollar box or whatever they call it.
Yep, Scotty Niedermeyer. Let's see, Jacob Markstrom.
Pulled that one out of one of the boxes. I want to say an extended series, maybe.
Yeah, it's very, very thoughtful of you to pick up some of these, because you'll tell when you go through your cards, you'll be like, wait a minute, all these cards are just cards that you've ripped on the show. I didn't actually went out and
No, I don't. I don't go out and make trips, but if I see something like, oh, he'd like that, and it's out an arm and a leg, sure, I'll pick it up.
Let's see. I mentioned the Jack Hughes one already. Dawson Mercer. I like this card. I like those clear cards where you can kind of see through it a little bit. So I like that one.
It's a numbered one too, I think.
Yeah, this was numbered 83 out of 249. It's one of those Upper Deck Ice cards. I actually picked up a couple packs of those in the off season, so we'll go through those at some point. We got ourselves a patch card. I'm gonna have to replace the sleeve for it, because you could tell somebody wrote on the back of it.
Yeah.
In a marker. I'm sure it didn't come out of the card though, but a Will Butcher patch card. So we got that. Let's see. Taylor Hall card here. Obviously the only Hart Trophy winner in Devils history. And Scotty Stevens, what looks like not quite a rookie card here with the Washington Capitals, but Scotty Stevens in his younger days.
Yeah, I mean, we'll know what we might do next week, because I have 5 packs left of that 90 Pro set for the Stanley Cup hologram chasing me. Next week we might just burn through those last 5 and just put ourselves out of misery that we didn't get the thing.
So very, very cool. I thank you for sending all those over. I appreciate it.
And I'll be going through cards more and more, so expect random things like that in the mail as time goes on. Now, Jared, he talks about how like he packed the box, but I mean, he loaded it up. You could kind of see.
I did. There's a lot of cards in there, so you don't necessarily need to go through all of them, but like you can certainly go through, and if there's any like interesting ones in there that you feel are worth highlighting, we could certainly do that. I probably put like 75 cards in there.
All right, so we'll start with little Lamar Jackson. He knows Lamar's the engine of my dynasty team. As a defending champ in that league, finally, only took 7 tries. Let's see here. We got Jorge Posada. Huh?
7 times the charm.
7 times the charm. That's the team name for this year. We're sticking with it. Ooh, that's a cool little Coach Prime Deion Sanders card. I love that. He was one of my favorite athletes as a kid. We got Luis Soho. Gotta love me a little Luis Soho. Clemens and Posada, Topps Chrome cards. Those are nice ones right there. Hopefully there's no urine on the card like Posada's hands.
Not quite like Moises Alou now.
We got a little Quinnen Williams and Elijah Moore here. Elijah Moore at the Bills this year, and there's Quinnen Williams. We'll talk a little Jets later. I like that Stars of MLB as Oswald Peraza rookie card. It's a nice one.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's no longer with the Yankees. They traded him to the Angels at the deadline, but and I no longer need to confuse Oswald Peraza and Oswaldo Cabrera. So there's that as well.
Got a little Juan Soto action. As Red Sox fans would say, Bucky fucking Dent. I hope this guy is not scarred from pretzels for the rest of his life, but Whitey Ford.
Well, they call them the Whitey Whackers.
It's a sad day for baseball. We got Giancarlo Stanton and Dan Mattingly. Recent Yankees acquisition, Ryan McMahon. Oh yeah, shout out Pat Kerwin, Blair Thomas rookie card. Let's see here.
You can't say I didn't give Adam a good mix here.
You gave me a great mix. Ooh, I love this Rob Moore card. This is the first year he went to the Cardinals. That was a mistake. The Jets should have never let him go.
Well, I pulled that on the show, and you love that card, so I made a mental note. I was like, all right, next time I send Adam some cards, I'll make sure we get him that one.
You're a sweet guy. Thank you. But we got a few more Yankees here. We got Gleyber Torres. Got Anthony Volpe. Disappointment. Another
there's probably gonna be a lot of Anthony Volpe in that care package.
Gleyber Torres Christmas card. DeForest Buckner, who's been a linchpin of my defense and for IDP stuff. All right, let's move that stack over. More stack to go.
I put a lot of thought in this, so.
All right, we got
at least in the cards itself. I put no thought into how I was actually going to ship it, but I put thought in the cards.
Yes, you did. I could tell. No, this is awesome. Let's see what we got here. We got Anthony Rizzo. Certainly did a good job as the Yankees' first baseman for a long time. Piece of crap, John Wetland. Piece of crap, John Wetland. Steve Sachs, a.k.a. Saxy Boy.
Saxy Boy.
It's been a lot of crimes in New York. Well, that you wouldn't happen to know anything about that, though, would you? Tony Gwynn. Oh, that's a cool. Is that a hologram kind of, or is it supposed to be like a out of focus thing? That's really cool.
That was one of those. It's not the SI cards. I forgot which one it is. Those hologram MLB cards I opened at one time. Yeah, we had a Tony Gwynn one in there.
We got another one here. Ozzie Smith also is on Mr. Burns' softball team. See here. Yeah, this is a nice one to add to the Bernie Williams collection right there. Thank you. Let's see here. Looks like we're starting to get into some of the hockey and hockey cards. Let's flip it over. Some of the
baseball. We got some hockey cards in there.
Don Mattingly. We got another Stars of MLB, Anthony Volpe. Oh, Willie Randolph in a Brewers. I mean, shout out Bob Uecker. Let's see here, a couple more baseball cards. Osvaldo Cabrera, and then finally Carlos Rodon, looking like he sweat through that jersey about 5 innings ago.
Yeah, Carlos Rodon is very much a I need 4 jerseys for a start because I'm going to sweat through the first 3.
Yeah, like you said, every 3 innings, just have it hanging in the dugout, and I'll change. Let's go to the football here. We got Panini Darrell Rivas, very nice. We got a Vinny Testaverde. Sad to say, one of the best quarterbacks in Jets history. No knock on him. He was good while he was there. It just goes to speak to our
It says more about the state of Jets quarterbacks over their history.
I mean, we're not Bears bad, but we're not far.
We're not the Bears. Well, I mean, you say that, but like Jay Cutler would be like the best quarterback the Jets have had in 40 years.
That's true. Yeah, we don't have a Jim McMahon either. We got a Garrett Wilson hoping for a big rebound year with his old buddy there, Justin Fields. I'm going to talk about them a little bit later. Darrell Rivas. We got a former Jet and Bengals legend, Boomer Esiason. By the way, I mean, I know franchises are cheap, but to have a ceremony that you're honoring players and then be like, oh, yeah, you got to pay your own way to get here. Like, wow, Mike Brown. Wow.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, like the Bengals tried to do they were going to do it, and they were expecting them to cover their own costs. Like, what's happening there? DeForest Buckner, another Sauce Gardner card. Oh, this one's a rookie. Very nice. Like that. And let's see. Estevan Florio. Wade Boggs star power. That's a nice old star power. That's an old looking star power.
I tried to give you as many players on the Springfield softball team as I could.
I appreciate that. I'm going to have to maybe do like a lineup there. All right, let's see here. Joe Adell, who has been coming on lately. Shout out Tyler Soto, but he's been playing well down the stretch.
That's the reason why I included him.
I've dropped him and picked him up in my baseball league so many times. Like, no, now he's staying on the roster at least till next year. Let's see here. We got a Brad Baxter, one of the better fullbacks of the 90s for the Jets. Speaking of Justin Fields earlier, No, screw it. Let's talk Jets right now. Let me put a Jets on the screen. Santonio Holmes there. I think that's it for the Jets.
I was gonna say I've been beating you over the head with the Jets. Like at some point we should just talk about it. Rip the Band-Aid off.
So my expectations for the Jets this year is I think if they went 7-10, 6-11, I think that's a reasonable expectation for. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just weird going into this season because the last 2 years there was the whole Aaron. First year was the Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, yay, he's here. Like we're excited, and everything was all hunky dory. And then obviously the injury happens, and then everything just kind of came off. And then we got the other side of Aaron Rodgers last year, more concerned about the off the fields, not off the field stuff, but just being a pot stirrer when he doesn't need to be on Pat McAfee and stuff like that. And that was the focus of the year. It's just that's
Right.
so for like 2 years we've been in those like Aaron Rodgers cloud, some good, some bad. And then before that we were in the Sam Darnold, all these quarterbacks we went through, Adam Gase. It was just typical crappy Jets. So like now we're on the other side of that, and I really don't know where they land this year. Like I said, I think they're a middle of the road team. I like the defense with the Jets. I mean, not as good as the Giants defense, but I think they certainly have something that'll keep them in games there. I mean, Justin Fields at this point, it's a put up or shut up for him, right? He's been with two teams. This is going to be his last chance to be a starting quarterback. So either he rises to the occasion and becomes a serviceable quarterback, or Jets are looking at a quarterback in 2026 in the draft. He's got Garrett Wilson. He's got Breece Hall. Mason Taylor, rookie tight end they drafted. I think he'll get involved in the offense a little bit. O-line's okay. There's a lot of reasons to think that the Jets shouldn't be awful this year, but I don't think they're a playoff team. The division, obviously Buffalo is the top team, and then after that, do you think if Tua stays healthy, Miami's the number 2 team? If he can't stay healthy, then it's probably the Patriots or the Jets, but more likely New England. But you look at the schedule. They get Aaron Rodgers out of the gate, then Buffalo, at Tampa, at Miami, home for Dallas, home for the Broncos, but that's actually going to be, it's a home game. That's going to be overseas. Home for Carolina, at the Bengals, versus Cleveland, at the Patriots, at the Ravens, versus the Falcons, who I was a team that I liked coming into the season, but now Caleb McGarry out. That protects Penix's blind side as a lefty quarterback, so I don't know how the Falcons do. Then Dolphins, Jaguars, Saints, Patriots, Bills. There are winnable games on the schedule.
Yeah, it's not a daunting schedule.
There are winnable games there for them to have a respectful record. But, I mean, if you're going into the season thinking, oh, but if this happens, blah, 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 like the Jets are not a playoff team. I don't want to say the field is set in the AFC. There's 7-8 teams right off the bat that you say, okay, these teams are – there's a tier of teams that are for sure going to the playoffs, barring major injury. Then there's another tier of teams like, yeah, they're probably going. And then there's maybe like on the fence. I don't even know if the Jets are in the on the fence category. I think they're probably they're not top 5 overall pick worth in that class. They're probably the step above that.
The number one goal for the Jets this season should be to establish a culture, because they're not going to win a lot of football games. I mean, obviously there's the whole quarterback situation, and I don't think the roster was as good as the Jets seem to think it was as good as, like when they were going for it with Aaron Rodgers those 2 years. But I expect them to get off to a slow start with the beginning that early portion of the schedule. But build a culture. Obviously I think they have the right coach in place to do that and sort of turn the page from the previous regimes. See what you have with the roster and then go from there. I'm not buying Justin Fields as a long-term answer at the quarterback position, but I certainly don't blame the Jets for giving him a year's runway here and seeing what you have, and maybe he could be a serviceable quarterback, and if nothing else, you make plays with your legs. I feel like the Jets will try to take the air out of the football a lot of games this year and just pound the rock 40 times and try to win games that way. So probably a lot of methodical, low scoring ish games. Like, they're going to try to win their share of like 17-14 type of games, I think would be my guess.
Yeah, whatever. If you look at the schedule, I don't know if they have any blowout wins in them this year. Maybe the Saints on the road late in the season when the Saints are trying to get the top overall pick, and maybe the Jets are too far out from that point. Yeah, and like you said, this year is all about culture. Aaron Glenn, I like the hire. He's everything he said, so his saying so far and the way he's approaching, like that's what the Jets really need. Before anything else can happen, they absolutely need to change the culture of this team. And
Also, Aaron Glenn apparently hates Rich Cimini, which I find really funny.
you know what's
I
funny?
don't have a dog in that fight.
And that's the thing, like he probably dislikes him from his days as a player more than anything, because Rich Cimini's been covering the team
forever,
going back to the Daily News, been with ESPN.com for probably the last 15 or so years, I think. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, he's not like Larry Brooks irksome bad. You know what I mean? Like they're like Dan Boyle, if he got the chance, if you said Dan Boyle, you can kill Larry Brooks and never get caught and never get away, and you'll get away with it.
He would probably take you up on it. Yeah.
No, not probably. He would. Like, I'm in the Bay Area now. People out here love Dan Boyle because, I mean, for the Sharks, he's in that second tier of like all time like franchise players.
Yeah, he was a really good player for a long time.
If I ever met him, I might just be a Woody Woodpecker and be like, so have you and Larry Brooks patched things up yet? Just to be a dick.
He might punch you if you frame it like that.
Okay. Go ahead.
He's a guy you probably want to get chummy with, you know, maybe buy him a beer or two if you happen to see him at the bar. And then like once like, you know, you're sort of talking yet, build like a good repertoire, you'll be like, so I'm a Rangers fan. Like whatever happened with that whole Larry Brooks thing, and just see if he'll just like tell the whole story.
And the thing is, like, Dan Boyle is very far from being the only person that cannot stand Larry Brooks and just doesn't like him and he just rubs him the wrong way. But like Brooks really got under Boyle's skin. Like that was, that's a story. That's for another day. Let's finish up these cards and we'll get back to the football ripping here. A little Quinnen Williams there. I like that one. The Paul O'Neill kind of hologram there. Love that Bo Jackson 1990 highlight scorecard there with the like third grade picture day background there. We got Marty Schottenheimer, who, rest in peace, also one of the best guys to work with in terms of a radio host. Not sure if you got to work with him at NFL Radio, but I mean, the guy just always had a positive spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Never better. Yeah, ask him how he's doing. We got a couple of Metal Universe here. We got LeBron James playing with a yellow and an Oregon Ducks themed basketball there. We got I like that Tiger Woods card. That's cool. It's victory red on Sundays. And we got a that's a cool Curtis Martin 96 playoff rookie there. And Vinny Testaverde, that's a cool one. Contenders, I remember that one. Now let's get to the Rangers quick here. Thank you, Jared. This is really thoughtful. I can't wait to sort all these and get them in the collection. Vitaly Kravtsov, Igor Shesterkin, huge. But when we get to the hockey episode, we'll talk about him. But I think he's a big bounce back candidate this year. Alexis Lafreniere, definitely would like to see more out of him this year. Joe Pavelski, Bay Area, another Bay Area Sharks legend. You know I love my mascot cards. That one's probably for Annabelle right there. Stinger from the Blue Jackets, M9. Let's see. We got Jalen Brunson, the token basketball card in the box. And a few more to go here. We got another Lafreniere Allure. And Artemi Panarin. I can't believe that contract's over after this year. It doesn't seem like the whole term of it has gone by. And then the last two cards here are Deion Sanders in the Bay Area with the Giants. And then Ricky Bones, or Ricky Bonus, but our buddy Ricky Bones, former production guy over at SiriusXM many years ago. I have to try and find him for that card. But I love how he's holding the card. That's a great card.
Yeah, we need more cards of athletes holding their own cards.
It's like, like somebody shares like a screen the wrong way in a meeting, and it's just like that endless like window like that keeps going and going. That's what those cards should be. It should be like a card of a card of a card of a card. Find like a prominent player early in his career and make him take a picture, like a Justin Verlander, somebody that's going to play for like 20 years. All right, let's get back to the football here. We talked Jets, we talked Giants, we've gone through some teams here. Now we can just kind of, as the cards come up, we can kind of talk about what we want to talk about. A little absolute football here. We start off with Jerry Jeudy. Picture with the Broncos there. We'll see how he does in Cleveland this year with Joe Flacco / Dylan Gabriel / Shedeur Sanders. Speaking of the Browns,
probably do okay because Flacco's going to throw it a ton.
When Flacco's in the lineup, you have a chance in every game. That's just how he's just that guy, even at this stage of his career. Speaking of the Browns, Amari Cooper signed with the Raiders. So see how that goes. I think the Raiders are going to be like a 9-8 team this year. I think Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, the Raiders deep fronts. You talk about pass rush; they can get to the quarterback. I think the Raiders are going to be a scrappy team this year. They're not your father's Raiders.
I would remove the S. They're going to be a crappy team this year. They'll be better because they have a functional quarterback and a functional head coach, and obviously those are two major upgrades over Aiden O'Connell and who's their coach last year, Antonio Pierce. And obviously they made the Ashton Genty pick, so they're gonna, Pete Carroll's gonna do what Pete Carroll does. They're gonna run the ball 350 times. So I certainly expect Ashton Genty to carry the ball a ton, and I guess Raheem Mostert now too will spell him here and there. So yeah, I mean they'll be interesting, I guess, but I don't think they're gonna be very good.
We got Dawson Knox here, second tight end there with the Bills. If you guys, I mean, listen, I know it's chalk, but they're my pick to win the Super Bowl this year. I think this is the year Buffalo finally gets over the hump.
I mean, it'd be nice for them if they did.
Now we got DK Metcalf, no longer a Seahawk. Now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. See how that experiment goes with Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin. They probably still get to 9 wins this year, regardless of how things go. Let's see here. We got TJ Hawkinson now with the Minnesota Vikings. Sure, he's going to have a decent year with JJ McCarthy, rookie quarterback there. When Jefferson's not open, he's probably going to be looking at TJ Hawkinson a whole lot. Let's see here. We got Darnell Mooney with the picture with the picture with the Bears, now with the Falcons. Talked about them earlier, how we don't have great expectations for them this year, but you never know. Like to see Penix develop. I'm rooting for him. Robbie Anderson, who changed his name to I forget what, but he's a irrelevant receiver.
Robbie Chosen.
Robbie Chosen. He had like 2 really good games as a Jet and tried to ride those coattails as long as he could. That was about it. And
shout out to him. Very Ramses Barden-esque.
A guy was not riding a 2-game streak there. Devonta Smith, who arguably the best wide receiver 2.
Yeah, he'd be a wide receiver 1 on most teams, not in Philadelphia where they have AJ Brown. So I hate that the Eagles are so loaded at every position. God, I hate the Eagles so much.
Now, speaking of an undisputable wide receiver number 1, Mr. Jamar Chase there. What's your take on the Bengals this year? Because and people are saying like they don't have a line, so it doesn't they're going to be in trouble this year. I still think the Bengals are very much a playoff team.
I mean, it'd be nice if they actually got off to a decent start one of these years and they weren't playing catch up. And it'd be nice if the defense could make a stop. They're going to score a ton of points. So I certainly understand why there's a lot of hype for Burrow and Chase and T. Higgins and all those guys. So we shall see.
All right, we got another former Seahawk receiver this year. He's going to be with the Tennessee Titans. Tyler Lockett helping Cam Ward in year 1. I gotta say, and I saw somebody post this like a month ago or something. There has never been a year where a number 1 overall pick as a quarterback has gotten less attention by the media than this year with Cam Ward. And I understand maybe he's not like a sexy soundbite. He's not, out there, on TikTok doing things, but like Juju Smith-Schuster. But usually when a quarterback goes first overall, there's a lot of attention thrown his way, regardless of the expectation of the team. There's never a team that takes a quarterback first overall and people are like, oh yeah, playoffs or maybe division championship. It's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe that's Cam Ward is flying under the radar and he likes that.
Yeah, because nobody gives a shit about the Titans. And like, I'm sure they appreciate the fact that there's probably like 3 people that cover the team there and nobody cares. But Cam Ward at least seems to have like the right head on his shoulders. He's saying the right things. Not a lot of talent on that team, but I mean, clearly they're still in the building up process. So they'll need to add to that roster in the coming years, and I'm sure they will, especially if Ward shows enough promise to be their franchise quarterback. I'm sure they'll accelerate the process a little bit and try to add more talent around him. So we'll see. I mean, the good thing is that's the AFC South. That's the easiest division to win in the league consistently year in and year out. So it doesn't take a whole lot to win that division. You could, you go 10-7, you're probably winning the division and hosting a playoff game.
Now we get to the silver parallel rookie cards here. We got Sky Moore, the recently traded Sky Moore to the 49ers because their wide receiver position is so depleted right now. It's basically Ricky Pearsall and
Yeah, and question marks. That'll be the end of Sky Moore as a trendy fantasy whatever. You get him out of Kansas City. Everyone's like, oh, Sky Moore's gonna be the next big thing. Him join that.
Him joining the 49ers as Jared's connection cuts out here. We'll have to carry this here as he gets back online. Let's get him off the screen. But yeah, as Jared was saying, with Sky Moore going there, he's back. We lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, my internet had a weird hiccup, but yeah, Sky Moore stinks.
That's a nice way to wrap that point up. Because yes, Brandon Ayuk's coming back at some point, early portion of the middle of the season, we'll say. And yeah, he's a guy to stash. But yeah, I don't know who Brock Purdy's going to be. He's got Kittle, he's got Pearsall, but yeah, after that, it gets pretty thin quickly in terms of pass catching options, at least for the first month or so. Jalen Petre with the Houston Texans there. It's a very defensive back heavy rookie card, silver parallel here. Kyler Gordon with the Bears. Kyle Hamilton, expected to be one of the next generation of great safeties there, already on his way to do that with the Ravens.
Just got a huge payday last week.
Got a Trentman finally for the silver parallels, Trent McDuffie. Chiefs cornerback here. All right, so we got green parallels here. Jared Goff with the Lions. Are the Packers the top team in the North, or the Lions still have a legitimate shot at it, or how do you see that pecking order working out? If we know the Vikings or the Bears will be the bottom team,
I still think the Lions probably have the more complete roster from 1 to 53. What concerns me with the Lions is obviously losing both their coordinators, and now we have to see whether or not Dan Campbell can actually coach. And I don't know the answer to that question, so that certainly concerns me a little bit. Because I think people are looking to take Dan Campbell down a peg because he's the dude and football meathead guy and all that sort of stuff. And you lose Ben Johnson, you lose Aaron Glenn, two accomplished coordinators in their own right. They both take head coaching jobs, and I think people are looking to be like, all right, well now Dan Campbell got exposed, and I don't know the answer to that question. Would I be surprised if it turned out that Dan Campbell was sort of lifted up by everything around him? I wouldn't be surprised, I suppose, but he got that head coaching job for a reason, so I probably wouldn't underestimate him.
Listen, I understand there's so many rules you can build into the schedule, but I hate that Lions Packers is a week 1 matchup. That's that to me, those key, and I understand the Micah Parsons trade happened recently and all that, but I first week of the year, an important matchup like that, it's a waste. And I know they play on Thanksgiving, I think is the next time they play after that, so you get a nice late season matchup, but still.
I don't mind it because you look at the schedule already. You have the Eagles obviously in the first game, and the Monday night game's okay. It's Vikings Bears. There's obviously the Sunday night games loaded with the Bills and the Ravens.
That should be later.
There isn't that big time game in that 4 o'clock window. So and obviously that's the game that's going to be in that window. So I'm very much okay with it.
San Francisco, Seattle could surprise as being an entertaining matchup up there in Seattle. Wrap this pack up quick here before we get to the 90. We get to the tops 93 there before say farewell. 95, I should say. We got Elijah Moore, green parallel there. We'll see how he does with the Bills. Silver parallel green, and it looks like it's a little off center there. Leo Chanel, rookie card, solid linebacker there with the Chiefs. This is a cool looking card, but I mean, it's a last call Daniel Carlson. Raiders Browns last second game winning field goal does not strike me as an important moment, but that is a cool shot with Myles Garrett getting up there to try and block that.
Yeah, very cool shot. Can't say I really care about that moment all that much between a Browns and a Raiders game, but yes.
Probably week 6 or something. And then we close with Tom Brady last card there, stargazing. So that's a good candidate for pull of the day right there.
There you go. I forgot we were doing pull of the day.
So we got one more pack to go through here, but that's my candidate. And now we get to go a little old school here, 95 Top Series 1. Another pack I've had for a long time here. I've been waiting to open. Let's see here. Working there. Ooh, 3,000 yard club, John Elway. That's a good start. Good force pull of the pack.
The card is so old that like they're making a big deal about the 3,000-yard club.
Hey, 3,000 yards. I mean, it was like Marino, him, Kelly, Warren Moon, like the guys getting to that, and that was it. Let's see here. We got the immortal Tommy Barnhart, former Panthers punter there. Let's see here. Ben Coleman from Cardinals wearing shoulder pads that are tremendous, as was the style at the time, for like wearing an onion on your belt.
Yes.
We have he was an underrated linebacker in his day. Jesse Tuggle there with the Falcons.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Another 3,000-yard club, and a guy that's not surprising that he got there because he's one of the better gunslingers of the '90s, even though he didn't pan out. Jeff George.
Yeah, Jeff George did not play a boring style of football. He was I guess he was Jameis Winston before Jameis Winston came along, like that type of quarterback. I'm trying to think of another quarterback.
He was like if Jameis Winston and Jay Cutler had a child. That would be
yeah.
That's what
Jay Cutler's another good quarterback of that mold. So
kind of a little Gardner Minshew in there too, like an early day Gardner Minshew, like kind of like a badass, does his own thing. Like this guy's probably smoking darts at halftime, like outside the locker room, the hallway.
Yeah, I kind of wish Minshew was better than he was, just so like he could still bounce around and feasibly start everywhere. But I think Minshew's settled into that career backup at this point of his career, where he'll get the occasional spot start when the starter gets hurt, but we're not going to see him play regularly, which is kind of a shame.
Oh, unfortunately. But the guy's got the attitude though, and we love that. We got Carl Pickens here. Good Bengals receiver in the '90s, had some chemistry with Jeff Blake. Love the stripe down the pants for the Bengals there. Nolan,
bring that back.
Yeah, that needs to come back on a full-time basis. Nolan Harrison with the Los Angeles Raiders. Let's not forget they played there. Let's see here. We got Chris Slade, good linebacker with the Patriots back in the Bledsoe era. All-time defensive back, Rod Woodson there with the Steelers, getting ready to do something. I don't want to be catching passes near Rod Woodson. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We got William Thomas sporting just one of the best looking Eagle jerseys of all time, right there. Let's see here. We got Robert.
Yeah, among the many reasons to hate the Eagles, goddamn, Kelly Green's a nice color.
Yeah, those jerseys. No notes. We got Robert Massey here with the Detroit Lions. A lot of Patriots in this pack. Maurice Hurst. We got Irving Fryer. Picture with the Dolphins there. Made his career with the Patriots there. Very good wide receiver. We've got Robert Porcher, good defensive end for the Lions in his day. We've got a 95 draft picks card, but you probably don't remember this guy. Scott Gregg.
I do not remember him.
Good looking rookie card for a 95 card, but just not the player we were hoping for. Now we opened with some 3,000-yard passers. We'll close with a couple of 1,000-yard rushers here. Here's Terry Allen with the Minnesota Vikings. And we close with just one of the better running backs that has been around in the last 30 years, Marshall Faulk.
You know, the Scott Gregg card made me think of something. I would really like a Giants hat with the Giants right in the front of it instead of the NY. I'm not a fan of the Giants logo, which is why we don't really have a whole lot of Giants gear. But like, there's something about like that 80s, 90s look with that shade of blue and just the Giants written across it. Where I'm very much a fan of that.
Peak Phil Simms LT era.
Yes.
And what I like about these like 1,000-yard or 3,000-yard club cards is if you go on the back, it actually gives the game log for the season and how much they did against each opponent. That's cool. It's a nice.
That's nice.
It's a nice little touch that gets lost on cards nowadays. They don't put like career things like that anymore, but I get it. You know, styles change. I'm not wearing onions on my belt anymore. Change. So there we go. We ripped through a few packs today here. We had some laughs, previewed the NFL season schedule. Time for pulls of the day before we get out of here. For me, probably a no-brainer on this one. The Brady stargazing. I'll gladly take that. That's going to go top loader real soon. Jared, for your pull of the day, what do you got?
I think I'm going to go with the Malik Neighbors prismatic rookie card here. It's a rookie card of probably the best player on my favorite football team. So we got to go with that one.
I don't want to get you too excited, but can you imagine if Tom Brady was throwing balls to Malik Neighbors? That'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
Is Tom Brady coming out of retirement to play for the Giants and nobody
I'm,
told me?
I'm just saying that would have been like a nice, like those two together, man. But we'll see how Jackson Dart goes. He definitely got the Giants fan base super hyped up as I drop cards all over.
You can tell this is a real professional outlet we have here. Adam's
Yes.
dropping cards here, and I'm shopping for Giants hats on Fanatics.
Hey, first
website.
episode in what, like 6 weeks? We're a little rusty here on polls of the day. Now, before we get out of here, we're gonna wrap. Like to talk about the other things we got coming up here. Total Hockey Now, show I do with Christopher Morez and Anthony Rivera. We've been doing mock drafts every week of the summer. We're looking at NHL futures, win totals, all that. So go check it out at totalhockeynow. At YouTube channel at Total Hockey Now. This week we'll be doing center tiers and another 12-team mock draft. Speaking of hockey, all about the jersey.com for Jared's Devils coverage. You got what do we got in the hopper here for? It's a little early for season preview, but what's coming up there?
I'm writing a piece on Brad Shaw, who they hired as the assistant coach this year, and whether or not he could take their defense to another level, because the Devils made some improvements defensively last season, but I think there's a difference between the numbers looking good and playing playoff style defense, for lack of a better term, and whether or not Brad Shaw is going to be the guy to sort of help that defense take the next step.
It's got to be rough having a name like Brad Shaw, because everybody thinks you're calling him Bradshaw first, like, oh, that's the guy's last name. No, his name is Brad Shaw. I wonder if him and Terry Bradshaw get together.
I don't think so. I don't think they get together very often.
And then we got YouTube at Jared Moore Poker. I know you've gotten to play some, doing some content creation, as we call a content gathering, going out there and playing the tournaments. How's that been going?
I mean, we had some moments this summer, and now we're going back in the other direction, which we don't like. So we could use a win soon.
A win would be nice. And maybe the Giants get one week 1 on the road against the Commanders. We'll see. As for the Jets week 1, we'll see. Aaron Rodgers with a chip on his shoulder, picking up the Jets keister. I don't know if I love the look of that, but that'll do it for the first episode of Rip and Riff. We'll be back with you next week for a week 2 episode. Maybe we'll do something. We did all football today. We'll do some other packs next week, some other sports. But for Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Pucking Front Adam Bernard. Back with you next week with an all new episode of Rip and Riff here on the Rip and Riff YouTube channel.